Hello, happy Friday. It's Friday, it's Friday. I get very excited on Friday. Could you tell? That's how I do it. Hey gang, welcome. Happy Friday and welcome to a very informal discussion on pumping tips for twins. If you just saw the little video that I threw up on our Instagram page, you'll see that my hair turned out pretty okay. So for the next, I don't know, 45 minutes to hour, it depends on how many questions you guys have, we will be chatting about all things that have to do with pumping for your twinnies. Wow, we have a ton of people on today. Thank you all for showing up. It's going to be great. So if you are a new parent and you are using a breast pump similar to this one, then we are going to be talking about getting the most production out of your wonderful, wonderful boobs. That's the topic of today. Look, Laura's here. Everybody, Heather, are you really pumping right now? That is hysterical. What pump are you using, Heather? Give us some tips. You give us your tips too. Obviously, this discussion goes both ways. Is it Myron? Miran is also pumping. I think it's pumping time. Is this pumping time for everybody? Who else is pumping right now in the audience? I would love to know. So, you know, it's me, and then also we have the Twiniversity team on with us today. Jewel just popped on just now. We know that Laura's here, and I'm sure that Kimmy, Lauren, Carrie, everybody will be here to join the crazy gang. Jessica's pumping too. Look, we're pumping as a family. Heather just rented her pump. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we're going to be talking about pumping tips, and I just realized I forgot to put on earrings. I never forget earrings. So as our discussion goes on, you could shoot questions to us. If for some reason my feed goes too fast and I can't really see it, what I will do is if you notice me looking down, it's because I am looking at the questions that are coming to me via Julie. So if anybody has any questions, oh, we do need to talk about Beyonce. Do we, guys? Do we need to talk about Beyonce? Okay, let's talk about Beyonce. I'm very excited. I think that, you know, I've seen a lot of memes about how, you know, we had twins before Beyonce made it cool. Guys, we knew we were cool from the start. We didn't need anybody else to have twins. And remember, there are plenty of celebrities that have twins. Just to name a few off the top of my head, you name them too, right? So there is Julia Roberts has twins, and Jennifer Lopez has twins. Celine Dion has twins. Oh my gosh, who's that super duper handsome guy? Rebecca Romaine. They have twins, right? I don't even know if they're still married. I hope they are. Ricky Martin has twins. Who else could I think of? I don't know. There's so many people that have twins, and it is very, yeah, right? Childcare ain't one. That is freaking awesome. Yes, they have 99 problems and childcare ain't one. I was wondering if she would need our assistance. I would kind of think that she would be in the very fancy region, but you know what? Beyonce, I'm throwing it out there. You're welcome to join our Facebook feeds now. We never hold against you because you had a singleton at once. But I'm very excited. I'm always excited when somebody new has twins, because then finally somebody gets it, right? Because I think that as parents of twins, which we know because we get it, other parents just really don't get it. And they'll be like, twins, what's the big deal? It's just, I had a baby. It's just one baby. What the heck am I doing here? But I do think that it is very awesome. Look, we have more people that have twins. I love this. Okay, so here's what I want to know today. Are you pumping right now? Because we know that Beyonce is going to need these twin tips. So let's give her some twin tips. Okay, when it comes to pumping. Hey, Mike's here. Hey, Mike. Happy Friday. So yes, Mike is one of our most dedicated Twiniversity fans because his wife is a member of the Mom Squad. But also I'd like to say thank you to Mike for keeping us safe, as my kids tell every fireman in the universe. So Mike's a fireman, so thank you very much for keeping us safe. I appreciate that, and thank you for being so great to Kimmy and your girlies. All right, guys, so Mike, have you pumped much lately? Let's talk about pumping. I want to know the hot topics in your universe when it comes to pumping. And we are going to take a look at the Evenflo pump. So here is the Evenflo pump. This is the double electric pump. It is my chosen pump. I have played with a lot of pumps in my days, and I think that the Evenflo is one of the ones that fits them all. So as I'm talking to you about this pump, which I'm going to tell you a little bit of the features before we get into tips, I want to know who you are. So where are you guys from? Do you have twins? Do you have triplets? Who do you have? If you have a picture of your twinnies, I would love if you would pop that up too. So first I want to know where everybody is. Exclusive pumpers for twins, 15 months and going. You do it. Fight the good fight, Jessica. You're doing it. So where are you guys from? Are you exclusively pumping? Shoot us a picture of your twinnies. I really love to see it. I don't know if you guys got to play at the online shower that we did this past week. Was it this week or last week? I don't even remember. This time is flying when you're having fun. But the shower was so fantastic, and we asked everybody to post a picture of their twinnies. And I mean, if you go look back in the history of the Twiniversity feed, you'll see how many people were jumping in on that. It was just crazy. And the pictures were so, so, so beautiful. So here we go, guys. Here is the Evenflo pump, which it hits a lot of marks. Okay, so if you're like, why does Nat like this one? And if you've noticed, we haven't worked with pumps before. And we haven't worked with pumps before specifically because I didn't find a pump that would hit everybody. Sometimes they're so expensive that, you know, not everybody could afford one, to be very honest with you. And I don't really want to work with a company that has something that is so unbelievably overpriced that people who couldn't afford it would feel bad about it. Okay, so that's number one. So that's a price point. So this price point, Julie's going to send a link to you right now. It even goes on sale. It's just a very affordable pump. So if your insurance doesn't cover a pump, then you could always afford an extra one. Heather's expecting. Congratulations. You're almost there, Heather. So another reason why I prefer the Evenflo pump over the others is you see this piece right here? Let's get up close and personal of this. Do you see that piece there? This is called the flange. This comes off and this is the pump. Some pumps literally just give you this. And if you have this, I'm not saying that it's not going to work. So if you have this pump, don't get too stressed. Hey, Melanie, how are you? Yay, from Queens. Woo woo. Anytime anybody ever says like they're from Queens, my husband always says I'm from normal parents, because this is, you know, I live with a grown man child sometimes. He can ignore that joke. Okay, so look. So this is the pump piece, right? So your boob goes here, and then it pumps, pumps, pumps. Now this piece, this is why I love the Evenflo pump. This is the flange. And so this flange fits inside of here, and it actually has a little lip that goes around the edge to really secure it. And this pump, what happens here is that since it has this silicone edge, it really forms the best barrier so that when the pump is on, it pulls your boob in with very, very little room around it, making it super duper duper efficient, okay? Dad jokes. He's got a million, Caitlin. I can't, like, we should do a live feed just on the jokes that my husband tells. So with the Evenflo pump, it comes with a multitude of flanges. So you get to try them on and in the privacy of your own home and be like, this works for me, this doesn't work for me, I need the next size. So it gives you all of the flange sizes in the box. The next reason why I love this pump is because it's a truly closed system. So this piece is where the mechanism is that goes to the pump that provides the suction. But if you look here, there's this cup which makes it 100% of a barrier from anywhere that the milk is going. So the milk, actually look, you can never get to it. The milk can't get to this wire. Where some of the other systems have an open system, meaning that sometimes milk drips into this little wire and you're like, what's the big deal? We could just clean it, right? I could take it off, I could throw it in, you know, the steamer, I could clean it up. But the problem is not milk getting in the tube. The problem is that the milk goes in the tube and then goes into the unit. If the milk gets into the unit, it could get mold, it just gets gross, it'll smell, it'll ruin the motor. So having a closed system is critical in making sure that your pump is going to last as long as it should and work as effectively as it should. So that is why we prefer this. Honestly, those are the two big ones. If you want to talk about more features that I like, number one, you know when you buy this pump, you get a free online class. an online class all about breastfeeding, about going back to work breastfeeding, the introduction to breastfeeding, taught by Sherry Creaso, which she's, come on, guys, you've seen me do videos with her. She's an extraordinary lactation consultant and midwife, and just genuinely just such a big advocate of pumping families. So you get that. Then of course you get the 20 billion different speeds of suction. I actually have this on. You want to hear it? Here. So the thing is I don't know if you guys know, but I exclusively pumped. So when I hear things like this, it kind of triggers these memories that go back in the day of when I exclusively pumped. Now you hear this? Do you see that? That's where it's trying to draw the milk for. But what I'd like to point out, something totally unrelated, is that this beat would make songs. And to me, the song that my pump sang was Sweet Emotion. Let's see. Can I do it? Sweet Emotion. Nope. It's the wrong speed for that song. But this one, see, we could adjust the speed. Not only could we adjust the speed, but we could adjust the spacing between the poles of the pump. See? Or the rhythm of it. The rhythm is gonna get you. All right, so we're gonna play with this more in a second, but honestly, I could just listen to this all day. We hold this button, goes off, all good here. Another Natalie. I love my Natalies. It's the best name ever, Nat. I love our name. So let's talk about some pumping tips. Our number one pumping tip, which we waited too long to tell you, is I recommend that you pump from the beginning. I know everybody has an opinion on this, but I always believe in pumping from the beginning. I think that it's a great way to kind of set the tone and get your boobs ready for the magnificence that is feeding your twinnies. So pumping from the beginning is what I think it's good. If you pump from the beginning, I would love to see some hearts, some thumbs up, something so that we could have some interaction here, because it's kind of tough to be on this side and not hear voices. And if I was hearing voices, that would be another topic for another live feed at this point, because I'm alone right now in my apartment. So, did you pump from the beginning? If you pumped from the beginning, I want to know, did you think that it was successful? Do you think that that was a fail? I know that I personally pumped from the beginning and found that it was really important. Me personally, I pumped from the beginning because my babies were in the NICU. My kids were in the NICU. Baby A was in there for 31 days and baby B was in there for 14. So I had to pump. I had no choice. The doctor's like, breast milk is medically necessary. So I was like, okay, I could do this. I had the wonderful benefit of using a pump in the hospital, which was a hospital grade pump, and then using my at-home pump. I truthfully preferred the at-home pump. I know that the hospital grade pump is much more effective, I hear, but I just found that it was so clinical that I felt like I was like a cow at a dairy farm, and I just was very uncomfortable with that. Whereas my pump from home, I found to be much more gentle, but equally as effective. So for me, as far as the hospital grade versus a store-bought, I think that you're absolutely fine. I'm telling you the truth. You know, I have never lied to you ever, but I think that a store-bought brand is fine. So pumping from the beginning is a great way to kind of get yourself on track. If you are not with your babies, pump when you would be feeding your babies. So if you're feeding your babies 24 hours a day, round the clock, every 3 hours, if you can, pump as much as possible every 3 hours. Now, here's like a little aside. The aside is that if your kids are in the NICU, you may have had a traumatic delivery. It could have been a rocky start. You could be more stressed, obviously, because your kids are in the NICU. So it is important that you sleep. So please don't get up every 3 hours and pump. You may want to get up every hour, every 4 hours and pump, or 5 hours and pump. But really, 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 it's one of those situations that you have to put on your oxygen mask first, like they say on the airline, to make sure that you are healthy. Because if you are not healthy and you are not okay, your breast milk's going to be more challenging to come in. It's just not going to be the best case scenario. So pump from the beginning, but pump modified in a modified way, so that if the babies are home, you're taking advantage of the babies being in the NICU, and you're getting rest and getting yourself back on track. Okay, so remember to take care of yourself first. I am going to go jump on and look at the comments because I love looking at your comments and they're not coming in fast enough for me. Holy smoke. You guys are like on fire today. Look at all the comments we have. Look, I'm going to do a little love for myself as well doing that. So I'm on there too. I love that. Seeing the hearts makes me absolutely crazy. So could you guys please post pictures of your babies? I don't think that you'll ever really understand how much that means to me. So please, if you can, post a picture of your kids if you are pumping. If you have a picture of yourself pumping that you would allow us to use here at Twiniversity, when we throw up this little video over on our homepage, I would love to include some of them that were included, some of you guys that were included on our chat today. All right, so that was number 1, pump from the beginning. Number 2, do you know that there is a way to get more milk out of your boobs when pumping? So it's called the lean roll press technique. I'm sure that it has an actual name, but when I was pumping, the lactation consultant at the NICU, which I was very, very, very lucky to have somebody at my beck and call pretty much 24 hours a day when it came to my breastfeeding experience. And she said that when you are going to begin pumping, that you lean forward. Okay, so I'm going to do this with you. I have to stand up, right? So excuse me for fondling my own boobs for a second, but it's for the betterment of you guys, okay? So you lean forward so that your boob, all the milk is kind of rushing towards the front. Then the next thing that you do is you roll. So you take your hand and you roll it all around your boob, going from, you could even do it this way, I could not get this, okay? So technically you're supposed to do that. But you go from your armpit out because you still have breast ducts over here. So we're rolling, always from the back to the front. This feels like an odd, weird boob massage. And I'm not opposed, guys, for a little boob massage on a Friday. Okay? So that's the next one. Then the next thing that you do before you attach the pump is you press. And I would press forward on each boob, okay, and make sure that you get the underneath as much as you get the top. And that way, all the milk is ready to roll. I always think of this every time I'm making lemonade or using a lemon. Have you ever, when you get lemons, I know that my mom taught me that before you squeeze a lemon, if you roll the lemon on the counter, it'll release all the juices, and so that when you squeeze it, it's easier to squeeze. So I always think of making lemonade when I was breastfeeding. I thought that that was a very unusual association, but it was effective because I always thought, hey, listen, the best lemonade that I could get is when, speaking of lemonade, Beyonce, what? It's the circle of Beyonce today. When making the best lemonade, always rolling it would make a more productive lemon. So of course, rolling my boobs makes a more productive breastfeeding session, right? So that would be the next one. Now, another tip that I would give you, kind of in the same thing, and I'm gonna lie to you, I did lie to you because there's more than 5 tips today. I'm a liar. Call me a liar. All right, thumbs up if you're okay with me being a liar for today because we have a few more tips than 5. I couldn't narrow it down to 5, guys. That was too much pressure. So another one that I am going to give you, which I'm going to say is 2.5 is this tip. It's not going to be a full tip, but it is to really make sure. Thank you. Okay, don't tell anybody that I was lying to us. So what you have to do is you have to make sure, because as if fondling my own breast wasn't enough today, now using the word, you have to lube up your flange. A lubricated flange is a more productive flange. So you have to make sure that you have either nipple butter on, or you have, you know, a lanolin cream. I know that Earth Mama Angel Baby makes one. I know that Lancino makes one. I know that Honest makes one. I can't think of anybody else that makes one. Jewel, if you could put in some links to those, I know I didn't tell you that ahead of time. But a nipple cream or a nipple butter or something is going to make it easier because there'll be less friction when the pump is on and it will be much more comfortable to you. I'm a big fan of lubing up the boobs, right? And then attaching. That was a tip that I learned really quick that nobody taught me that. That's just something. Look, we're getting a ton of other suggestions. So please take a look at the suggestions below. But if you do not have something at the ready, you need to make sure that you have that. Amy, you stole my next idea. If you do not want to use nipple butter, coconut oil is the bee's freaking knees. get some coconut oil. It is, of course, food grade, so even if the baby's ate it, but you don't want to put so much that the coconut oil is going to milk. You just want to use a little bit, like a tiny, tiny bit. You want to put it on the inside of the flange or put it over your boob so that when the flange is attached that you are in good shape. So coconut oil was my secret trick. Me and Amy. Amy's my new best friend now, that she knew that, but I'm sure that you guys have heard that tip. I hope you heard that tip before, and if you haven't, tell everybody in the universe that you know, because it's really a great way. And coconut oil, by the way, is not only great for a good little flanging, it's also fantastic for your skin. It's great for your hair. I've used it in cooking. I love me some coconut oil. One of my faves. And it seems like such like a crunchy product. Like, oh, if I'm an organic household, I use coconut oil. But I've come to the conclusion that I know everybody, from my super crunchy friends to my very conventional friends, we all use coconut oil because it's freaking delicious. All right? Have you ever tried to pop popcorn in coconut oil? I'm just saying, consider that. It's really delectable. Okay? All right. Now, our next tip that I'm going to give you is when you buy your pump. Okay? So when you buy this pump, I recommend that you get extra parts. So once you know that the flange size that works for you, okay? Yeah, see, my other Natalie. Other Natalies know things. It is fantastic for diaper rash as well. And not for nothing, if it doesn't work, all it was is coconut oil. You have it, put it on everything. It's like the Windex of my big fat Greek wedding, right? That should be the new one. Like if there was a big fat Greek wedding 3, I'm sure instead of Windex, he'll now be using coconut oil. That's just, you know, note to the producers of the next movie. Remember who told you. All right, so I was saying that you gotta buy extra parts. So when you know the flange size that is the most correct for you, buy extra ones. Why? Because now I told you to put coconut oil or nipple butter on this, so you're gonna have to clean it between pumping sessions. So you're gonna have to wash this, right? Now let's just say I'm so freaking lazy, I'm tired, it's the middle of the night. The last thing that I wanna do is think about going to wash my pump accessories. So you know what? Don't. Leave them in the sink till morning, put some sudsy water in the sink, rest this in there, get your extras that you have, and then attach it and go back to pumping. So always buy extra parts. So how many should you have? I think at least 3, because they're not expensive at all. They're totally worth it. And if you're really committed to pumping, get armed with the correct like supplies so that you have it. Not only is this the supplies, right? So I want you to get extra flange sizes, but I also want you to get a manual pump. What? Did Nat just say get a manual pump? Doesn't she know that we're breastfeeding twins? Who is she talking to? I don't know, guys. But the manual pump, I want you to leave it in the trunk of your car. So let's say you go out with the girls. Let's say you have a late day at work. Let's say you're just out and about. At least you have that instead of trying to manually express your pump milk into a sink in, you know, a bathroom stall. Get that pump that you have that's in the trunk. Hey, Carrie, how are you? Get the pump that you have in the trunk of the car and then use that. Put the milk perhaps in a little freezer pack. I don't know if you're going to remember to have a freezer pack, but let's say you're at a restaurant, just ask them for a bag of ice. They'll give you a bag of ice, have a cooler in the back, you got your pump, you got milk. You get to stay out a little bit later because the babies are home, safe with daddy or grandma or mommy or whoever the babies are with, and that way you know that you could stay out a little bit longer. So you should always, always, always have a backup, okay? All right, that was a good tip. Did somebody say store all my parts in the fridge? Who was that? That is a great tip. Julie, make sure I remember that tip because we're using it for our next feed. That is great. Yes, if your car has a plug, I say that's cool too, but then you have to pay for the expense of having the electric pump. That's why I was saying like the manual pumps are very inexpensive. So you just keep it in your trunk. It's not like you, because remember, this was our unprepared pumping session. It wasn't like, you know, oh, I'm going out for the day and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring my pump. All right, guys, there's so much more I have to tell you about. Now, I think that it's prize time. Who wants prize time? I want to hear you say prize time. Do you love that? Do you like my weird musical interludes? I would like to give out a prize. And Julie, I don't know if you know that I'm giving out a prize, but you know I like to give out prizes. I would love to give away a box of the milk storage bags, okay? I love these freaking milk storage bags for, I mean, I could tell you the #1 reason that I personally love them. Okay, we're gonna get to Amber's question in a second. So these are the milk storage bags. You could actually pump directly into the milk storage bag with a little device that goes on top, and we could pump in the bag. But if you can't really keep 1,000 of these in your house, okay? So when you're pumping, you're gonna pump, pump, pump. Milk trickles down, milk trickles down. Now I have 117 ounces of milk. How am I gonna store this? So you take these apart, okay? And watch this. Okay, here's why I love this. So they are hermetically sealed. Is that the right word? I'm not positive. So we rip these off, right? We rip the top off because now we know that it is a nice sterile environment. We open them up. There is a little like Ziploc baggy thing on the top. Now here's what's so cool. Okay, the bottom actually opens wide so that it could stand on the counter while I am pouring my milk in. Crapola. I wish that I brought some water with me so I could show you. Oh, I can. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Stay right there. I have my water on my desk. How much water? I don't have much water. Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? So here's what I'm going to show you. So let's just say that this is where my milk is, okay? Now watch this. Please don't slip out of my hands because this really should be on the counter. You see what just happened? Do you see that this is open wide and now it's resting? That makes a big difference when using freezer bags because a lot of them don't have this feature. And if they don't have this feature, do you know how much breast milk is just going to spill all over the place? So these are the Evenflo breast milk bags. Love them to bits and pieces, and then we seal it up, okay? You seal it, seal it, seal it. Do you think that it's going to work? Of course it does, but I always get nervous thinking that it's not. Of course it works. And then here you just write when you pump, the date that you pumped, and always remember to rotate. But come on, you don't really dig that? Then I could hold this bag so that way the milk doesn't spill all over the place. Now I'm going to drink that water. Oh, and another thing that I totally forgot to tell you why I love them. Look on their bag. It has little messages. I don't know if you could see that, but see, like if I put it to the front, you can't. So this little message says, we love and support you. It's almost like fortune cookies of milk bags. I'm going to read the next one. This one says, you've got this, Mom. This one says, I love and support you. But there's more than just that. What is this? Oh, I got another one. I got a fun one. You're an amazing mommy. You could do it. Who doesn't want to be encouraged more? Did you ever meet anybody that says, no, don't encourage me. Please don't encourage me. I want to be discouraged. I would like messages on the bags that say, you're a loser. You're a loser. That's what happens. You know that's not going to happen. But it's great that they took the opportunity to put a little encouraging message when they totally didn't have to, by the way. They could have just made a really nice feeding bag and I would have still been excited. But they really did. You're an amazing mommy. You can do it. Guys, not only does Evenflo tell you, but if nobody told you today, I'm telling you. You're an amazing mommy and you could do it. And you can. And I am living proof that you could do it. And it may totally suck for a little bit. And pumping is hard. But, oh, how do you win the bags? How do you win the bags? Just say, I'm an amazing mommy. Okay, and if you're a daddy, say, I'm an amazing daddy. It's kind of like what you project out there into the world is how we are going to win today. So you are going to say, I am an amazing mommy. I am an amazing daddy. I am an amazing grandma. Whoever is on with us today, that is all that you have to say. And Julie's going to pick a winner. Julie, you give me the winner. I have the bags right here in my house. I will literally put them in the mailbox today. You'll get a little note from me too, maybe. And if I have any other good stuff around the house, I may be throwing in some bonus prizes. You never know what's going to be in that bag. So all you have to say is, I'm an amazing mommy, because I want you to win. Okay, now, we gave you the next tip. So get your extra parts. Now, sometimes you'll read online that there are negative reviews about some pumps. Note to self, not every pump was made to pump as much as we pump. And I'm not saying this pump. I'm saying pumps in general. Don't be shy if you're like, oh, that pump, didn't get 9 stars on Amazon and only got 3.5. People who exclusively pump, like myself and probably maybe you're doing a combination of breastfeeding and bottle feeding. If you find that it's not working, right? It may not be working properly because you're using it so much. It's not like a car that's like guaranteed for the first 200,000 miles and has a 10-year powertrain warranty. It's a pump. It's a pump that is milking you to provide efficient milk for your baby. So if you use it for a while, no matter what pump it is, if you find that it's not working like it did the day that you opened the box, call the manufacturer and say, hey guys, listen, I'm experiencing this with the pump. Do you think, is there something that I could do? Is there a reset button that I could press or anything? Okay, so if you're finding that it's not as great as you thought it was or that it once was, never, ever, ever, not only with pumps, but with any products, never hesitate to call the manufacturer, okay? If I'm telling you that you could call me 24 hours a day, right? You could call me 24 hours a day because this is what I do. I don't even have a product. All right, I guess I am my product, I suppose, but I always say, listen, if you need me, I'm here. Manufacturers do the same exact thing with their products. They're just the me of them. So they want you to have the best experience. So if you're finding that you're running into trouble or something's not working, whether it's a car seat, whether it's a pump, whether it's a stroller, whatever it is, if it's not working like the day that you bought it, call them and just give them a heads up. Don't say, oh, this is a piece of crap. Don't say it's a piece of crap, give it a chance and then fix it because it wasn't a piece of crap in the first place, otherwise you wouldn't have used it so long. So that is one thing that I wanted to tell you because pumps are one of those things that come up a lot. That everybody's like, oh, my pump wore down. Yeah, it's probably going to wear down. It probably wasn't meant to go 3 hours, 24 hours a day for 18 months. So just cut everybody some slack and just know that they are always there with extraordinary customer service. Any of the people we work with have extraordinary customer service. It's one of the things one of the requirements, right, of the people that work with Twiniversity. Okay, the next tip that I'm going to give you is you need to get a hands-free nursing bra. Hands-free nursing bra is something you must have. And you could get one that is a literal hands-free nursing bra, right? So it's almost like a tube top that you slip the little flanges in. I'm losing my pump pieces. You put this in and then it just literally, you're just like, hey, listen, what's up? I'm going to talk on the telephone. I'm going to eat a sandwich and you could pump. If you do not want to spend the $50, $70 or whatever it is on a hands-free pumping bra, what you could do is you could get a tank top that has a shelf bra. Julie's going to post a link to one right now, but you could get a tank top with a shelf bra for like $8, like $8 to $16. So you could get a few of them instead of having one hands-free pumping bra that you're going to want to wash. No matter what you think, you're going to want to wash it. So you're going to need at least 3 of anything that you buy. One in use, one in the wash, one in the backup, because it's not like you're going to wash it and then be ready to go. And let's say you spill milk on stuff. Duct tape is always good. That's so funny because I was just using duct tape a few minutes ago to hang up my notes so then I don't have to look over here anymore. Notice that I'm looking straight at you guys today. So that's that. Now we have questions coming in. And it's always funny because I was like, we're not going to go an hour. We could go 7 hours with this crew that we have. So the question that we have is, how do you find out your flange size? So, like I said, these are the flanges that are there, and these do come in different sizes. When you put your boob in, you want to make sure that there is no space around it. So if you have smaller boobs, you're going to use the larger flange, I believe, right? Because we're going to have to let it take up more of the area over here, and then it's going to pull you in. And I would really think that even if you're like, oh, well, I'm, a bra size B, so I'm going to use flange size 2. It doesn't work like that. It's your boob, because your boob, even though you may be, a size B, if you've breastfed 4 times before, it's going to be different, right? It's going to be a different shape and texture, let's say, than somebody who has never breastfed before. So unfortunately, Amber, it's a little bit of trial and error. So the benefit of buying the Evenflo pump is that it comes with all the flange sizes. So then I don't have to run out, because if you buy in other companies, they do make different flange sizes, but very few people know that you could go out and buy them. So just know that you're getting all of them, and so you're saving a few bucks just in what's coming in the box. So that was Amber's question. Now, I want to give away more prizes because I'm so excited about life today. I'm having such a good day. Is anybody else having a great day? If you are having a great day, or you want to have a great day, definitely throw some hearts out there into my universe. That is what I like. Hearts, hearts, hearts. I can't re-heart myself. I want to re-heart myself. Can I re-heart myself? I don't know. See, you guys are so good. You're sending thumbs up and hearts. I appreciate it. See, look, Carrie had the experience where she had to buy 3 different flange sizes. That's just what happens. Yeah, I'm having a good day too, guys. I love Friday. Not only do I love Friday, but my dinner is cooking right now. I'm so excited. So I could smell it. I'm making a giant pork roast that will be pork roast today. Tomorrow will be tacos. And then the 3rd day will be barbecue sliders. And if there's extra, because we have to eat it by then, we'll be having Cuban sandwiches because I make one thing for 27 days in a row. So my husband was like, that's a big roast. I'm like, yes, you're going to be eating that for the next 5 days. Enjoy. That's what we're having. So look, now you know what's for dinner. It smells so good. I made it with a little Spanish spices. It's going to be delectable. All right, are we ready to go to our next tip? Our next tip is going to be you need support. Not only do you need support from your literal nursing bra, right? But you need support from the people that are around you. You need people to encourage you and be like, you could do this. Not just the Evenflo breastfeeding bags. They can't be the only ones encouraging you. So, you know, your spouse has to tell you, your mom if she's around, the nanny if she's around. They have to be on your side when it comes to pumping. Because I'm telling you guys, if you don't know by now, it is hard. It is very, very difficult. And it's not difficult because it's physically difficult. All you're sitting there is you're hooked up to a pump and you're pumping. What's difficult is everything else that goes on around you. So if the babies are in the hospital, if the babies are home, the babies are not sleeping, you're healing from a C-section, visitors are coming in, the house is a wreck, you haven't had clean sheets on your bed in, since the last president, let's say. These are all the things, all of these variables kind of compile into this one big ball that makes life difficult. If all we had to do was absolutely nothing but feed the babies, we got this. We got this. I love this. And if your family's like, how could we help you? You know how you could help me? I don't need you to feed a baby. I don't need you to burp a baby. What I need you to do is I need you to take care of everything else that's in that bowl around me. Everybody's always like, my family wants to help. What should I tell them? You should tell them to unload a dishwasher. That's what you should tell them. We actually have a whole chore chart on Twiniversity for your family. So if you're like, I don't feel comfortable telling my mom that I need her to throw in a load of laundry. Well, maybe not your mom. I would hope that all of us feel comfortable with our mom, but maybe our mother-in-law. Maybe you're not comfortable with telling your mother-in-law, hey, could you unload the dishwasher? Or could you, exactly, Jessica, clean the house, exclamation point, exclamation point. How many was there? 4? Vacuum. Oh, I hate vacuuming. My least favorite chore, unloading the dishwasher. What is your least favorite chore? Totally off topic of breastfeeding. But on this topic of support, what is your least favorite chore? I'm now doing my informal survey. While I'm doing my informal survey, oh my gosh, I was going to give away a book, and I would like to give away a book, but I don't have one to hold in my hands. I think it's prize time again. If you do not have a copy of What to Do When You Are Having To, I would love to give you one now. I don't know where my book is. Usually it's right there on my shelf. I think the kids took it. The kids actually took it and gave it to one of the teachers who's not expecting, because the kids are so excited about that mommy wrote a book. So very often I'll find my book in their backpack and I'm like, that's a little weird. And then I think, like, what do the people in school say that this is what my kids are reading? What to do when you're having to. How to, the handbook for expectant twin families. That's too funny. Washing bottles. Sir, I feel you on that. So yeah, so I would like to give away a book next. That is going to be the next prize of the day. So if you want to win a book, all you have to say is, I want a book. I want a book. It's literally that simple. I will also throw it in the mail to you today, signed by me, Miss Natalie Ann Diaz of New York City, New York, founder of Twiniversity, and just lover of all things twins. That is what I do. So if you would like a copy of the book, if you don't have one, I will be more than happy to send one to you today. So just throw in that you want a book. That is what I want to know. It's literally that simple. Literally. What was I watching the other day that they were talking about? Somebody had an accent. I can't remember. It wasn't The Crown. I finished The Crown. Totally worth watching The Crown. Things to do while pumping. Watch The Crown. It's a short series, so it's actually manageable, where as opposed to my, I tried to watch all of Shameless, which I did, but it took me months and months and months. The Crown I was able to watch in like 2 weeks. I wish that I had more time on my hands, but I am too busy playing with breast pumps, which I am, and Julie knows that. I'm always on the hunt for new products that are going to be great for you. And we're actually going to be launching a new partner very soon of Twiniversity. And let me tell you guys, you're never gonna believe it, ever that we're playing with. We're so excited. I'm not telling you, no matter how much you beg me, I'm really not telling you. You will just have to watch and find out. But I know that no matter what, I am your #1 advocate, and I am finding everything that is good for our Twinny universe, okay? All right, so support, not only in your home, not only with your partner, not only with your family, but also online. Hi, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but I heard that there's this website called Twiniversity, and not only do they have great content on their website every day, but they have a really awesome Facebook page where the crazy founder often jumps on, talks about things like chores and TV and what she's making for dinner, but also slips in little tips. You should go to that webpage because there you could post questions and get the support that you need. I don't know if you've heard about that. Also, I don't know if you heard that Beyonce's having twins. Now, not only do we have a great Facebook page, Twitter feed, you could tweet us, Instagram. Not only do we have our own Instagram right at Twiniversity, but I have a personal Instagram at Nat's Real World. Feel free to direct message me a question if you don't have the patience to wait on the Twiniversity side. Also know that we have a Big Ten group. The Big Ten group is a private forum group. You could post questions, get your questions answered, see other questions that were asked. So Jewel, if you could post that to them as well. So guys, I am absolutely loving everything about this day. I'm thinking of, okay, so we had our tips. We're going to reiterate our tips for those of you who are just joining us. #1, pump from the beginning to get yourself a nice pumping schedule established, okay? #2, we're going to do that wonderful lean roll press technique that I showed you. And if you're just joining us, you're going to want to watch the beginning of this video later of where I play with my own boobs. Then the next thing is well, this was like the other tip, is that lube your flanges. Make sure that it is oiled up, coconut oil, nipple balms, nipple creams, land snow, whatever. Make sure that you have a lubed up nipple flange. Then make sure that you get your extra parts. If the parts aren't working or if something goes wrong, call the manufacturers. Do not just accept that this isn't working. Make sure that you get the service that's coming to you. Did I tell you to multitask? Is there a thumbs up? Thumbs up if I talked about multitasking already, because my old brain isn't. So if I was talking about multitasking, while you're pumping and using your hands-free pumping bra, you could do a bazillion things, right? So you eat lunch, check emails, watch The Crown. Just use the time wisely. You can, of course, be with your babies while pumping. Of course, that goes without saying. But if you're going to have some time to yourself, pumping is a time that you kind of can grab to yourself. So doing something else is always a good idea. Having the right supplies, we talked about that. So a pumping bra, having equipment from the road, for the road. So a manual pump in addition to your double electric pump, and then get support. So that was a lot more than 5 tips, but I had to give you more than 5 tips. So thank you again to our friends at Evenflo. I would love if you would give us the tips that you're using. So whatever tips that you have, if you didn't already put them up, if you are exclusively pumping or you're doing a combination of breastfeeding and bottle feeding, and you're pumping exclusively, or you're exclusively pumping, obviously breast milk, give us your tips so that in addition to the ones that I gave you just now, I would love some new tips. As much as I know about this pump and could talk about it till the day is long, my nipples are no longer productive and will no longer be productive, because if you would like me to keep providing information to you, I cannot have another set of twins. That is not something that is on my agenda. So look, Meg is there. Jewel, if you want to shoot me the questions that are coming in, if you have any questions about sleeping, feeding, whatever, always put them over on our Facebook page and we will make sure that we answer them. Now, I know that we have more prizes to give away. Jewel, if it's okay, I would love to give away another pack of these bags because I have them and they're very quick to throw in the mailbox. I would love to give another bag of these away. So whether you are using an Evenflo pump or using somebody else's pump, they are the most extraordinary milk storage bags, and I would like to send a box to you today. So if you did not win before and you would like to win again, or maybe you did win before, if you won before, don't try to win again. But why not? Throw it up there. I just want you to say that I am an amazing mommy, right? That's what I want. You want to win some bags. Jessica's like one step ahead. Jessica's like, I know what Nat's going to say. But remember, I like that self-affirmation. I am an amazing mommy. You are an amazing mommy, and you will be fine at this. We will get through this, and we will get through this together. And you know that I'm very sincere when I tell you that we're going to do this. I'm actually traveling quite a bit this year, so I may be in your neck of the woods. If you have a local twins club and you have monthly meetings and you would like me to come play in your sandbox, I would love to. You could shoot us a message. You could either send it to the community, so community@twiniversity.com, send it to Julie at twiniversity.com, or send it to me. I'm just Natalie at twiniversity.com, and say, we would love to have you. I know that I'm going to be down in South Florida the week before Easter. I believe on Wednesday night, the Coral Springs Mother of Twins Club is going to have me as a guest. It's going to be off the hook and amazing. You're going to love it. Then I know that I am coming out to the Illinois State Mother of Twins Convention. That is going to be in March as well. I'm coming to Los Angeles in May. I'm coming to Orlando in June. So I will be following, I won't be following. You will come and follow me. Wherever you want me, I will be more than happy to stop by, especially if you are in a town that's close to me. But we'll keep you posted on where I'm going to be. I would love to meet you guys in person. I know that when I could recognize people's names that are joining us, I feel like we're already friends. So we might as well have a drink together, whether it's seltzer, champagne, or, my favorite. If you're my friend, you'll know what my favorite is. Yes, it's vodka and soda. It's my drink, guys. Don't judge me. It's my new, I progressed as I got older. But hopefully I will see you in your neck of the woods. Thank you very, very much for joining us. And please, 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 make sure that you run over to Evenflo after this feed and thank them for allowing me the opportunity to talk to you guys. I love them. Evenflo Feeding, remember. So Evenflo Feeding has a separate page. Go, if you need a pump, make sure that you registered for this pump. If your insurance covers a pump, make sure that you could get this pump. Often they'll say, well, these are the ones that are covered. But if you're like, but does it cover this pump? They'll say, oh, yes. So find out the process of that. Get the pump that you need. And if you need anything else, never forget that we're here. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope you won some great prizes. Happy Friday. And thank you so much to Evenflo for allowing me to be my crazy self and play with you kids. All right, guys. Happy Friday. I'll see you next week.